episode of Modern Block. Thank you for joining me today. So today I thought I'd get through some, obviously here in South Africa, a very popular betting platform, not betting, sports guessing, I guess, prediction platform, SuperBru. So I thought I'd do what my picks are pretty much going to be for the first round. I know it's a little early, but I don't think anything's massively going to change a lot of these results, so I thought I'd bring it out. I will bring out another video if I feel in the week that something needs to be amended, but I thought I'd bring out this one early enough so people can do their picks and get it done before the weekend's over. Please comment, like, subscribe, share, and all that, and yeah, let's get into it. So, the first game obviously being the Russia-Japan game. So Russia-Japan have actually played relatively recently in 2018, where Japan won by only 5 points. It's a little tough to gauge from that. It's been a bit of time. Obviously, Japan's been building up a lot in the World Cup, and Russia, I feel, have actually probably dropped a little. So the betting odds are overwhelmingly in Japan's favor, which is something I always look at when I do my picks. The betting odds really do help. Obviously, I feel they get skewed a little by certain things, like English results are always substantially higher, even if they aren't the favourite, just because of the volumes of people who can bet from England. Japan, obviously, now that it's there, I think the locals will skew the results too, as obviously they're trying to push their team and cheer on their team, and I think that's completely fair. So you've got to take it with a pinch of salt. I also combine it with looking at some historic results, looking at maybe like community stats and that kind of thing on the stuff I can find. So yeah, it's in my opinion, it is going to be a comfortable win for Japan. I think they're going to try and go guns blazing, firing, and considering the mobility of the Japanese attack and the mobility of the way that the Japanese play, Russia, I feel, play a very old style of rugby. They often get bunched. If you look at their gameplay, they don't really have an outstanding defensive pattern, something that I think Japan have learned and are really gotten good at cutting apart if you do not have that pattern. So I definitely understand why the betting odds are hugely in Japan's favour. I think they're overwhelmingly, I mean, it's 15 to 1 for Russia to win. That's huge. I mean, some of the other teams don't even pull that. But yeah, my pick for that game, I'm going to say Japan by 20. Japan by 20 mainly because of the fact that, as I said, if Japan can get going, they will definitely score a bunch of points. And that's going to be the big factor. Can they cut apart the Russian defences? I assume they can. I don't think the Russian defense is as mobile, so they should be able to. So that's why I'm going to go by 20. I think also the event and the occasion will definitely spur them on. The next game is the Australia-Fiji game. Now this is quite an exciting game for me. I know some people might feel it's overwhelmingly Australia's way. Fiji had not a great run into the World Cup, but never discount Fiji in a World Cup. Many teams have been burned by it. #Wales. But I do think that Australia probably should take it. The betting odds are a little bit it's 6 to 1 for Fiji to win, where it's only like 1.1 to 1 for Australia to win. So definitely the bookies are feeling it's Australia's way. The biggest issue obviously is the up and downers of Australian rugby at the moment. If they can have the day and play the game, they could slaughter them. Like we're talking 40 points. But a safer bet, and my bet, is going to be Australia by 16. Mainly because I think that's a good range. If they get going, they're going to put a bunch of points on. But I think the Fijians just have the ability to sneak through a couple of tries off great open play. So I don't think they're going to run away with it. Especially, I think the last 15 to 20 minutes, the Fijians will get some surprise tries out of those Aussies. So that's probably where the moment to watch is, and that's why I feel it's a big lead, but it's not massive, and I think that's a sweet spot where I normally go when I feel like the teams could fight it out in the last few minutes. Next game, France-Argentina. This, for me, is a whopper of a game. I'd say it's almost more exciting than the game following it that day, which is obviously the South African New Zealand game I'll get to. Mainly because it decides who probably will end second in pool of death. So there's a lot to play for here, and that is something you can never discount from teams when it comes to a World Cup. Players can play a whole different style. France especially, somehow they all of a sudden start playing rugby in World Cups. They are by far the leader of knocking out people in World Cups. They are the only team, non-English team, to make it to a final, so don't discount them ever in a World Cup. It might not be tops at the moment, but don't discount them. Saying that, the betting odds currently are effectively 1.7 to 1 for Argentina to win and 2.1 for France to win and 2.1 for Argentina to win. So the betting odds definitely favor us, just favor France. That's what I love about this game. It is down to the nail close. I'm going to go for France just because of the fact that I can't discount them in a World Cup. I've been burned before, but only by about 4 points. Like, that's why I think I can't go much higher than that. France are going to definitely play, I think, a very northern style. They've got some stunning runners when they need them to break through the Argentinians. And my concern for Argentina, and this is the whole question everybody's going to be asking for that first game. Argentina's World Cup is made or broken by their scrummaging. Can they fix the scrum before the World Cup? If they fix it on the day, they're taking this game. That's the question. If you feel for Argentina to fix their scrum, go Argentina. If you feel they haven't, like I don't think so yet, I'm going to go France by not much, as I think France definitely have a lot of question marks in their own gameplay that need to be answered in this game. But that's what I love about this game. So it could go either way, but I'm going to give it to France by 4 points, and let's see how it goes. Italy, Namibia. So this one is a little bit of a, it should go the way that you assume Italy taking it. I mean, it's 12 to 1 odds for Namibia to win it, effectively 1 to 1 for Italy to win it. So I don't see it being an upset there. It would be a big upset for Italy, considering that they need this game to make sure that they have a chance if they want to upset any of the big boys in that pool. And I feel sorry for them, as this pool process most likely is going to be a pool where they cannot get out of. I'm not going to say that too loudly though, because I might eat my words in a week. So yeah, I hope that's not happens. Okay. But yeah, I think Italy should take this by about 25. They've never played before, which is obviously an important factor to take in. The last time that I famously remember a team never playing another team that was a minnow, Japan beat South Africa, so hold thumbs at, so it could be. Namibia are a stunning team. They play a very similar style to South Africa, or actually, like, I'd say that they play like a 5 years behind style South Africa. So I'm not saying it's great, but they have got some mean forwards, and if the Italian flair can't hold that back, it could be a hard day at the office for them. But I'm going to go Italy by 25, as I think that's a safe bet. It's most likely where it's going to end up. Namibia are going to give up a fight, and they always do. I mean, they've scored some good tries in World Cup, but in World Cups before, so I can't see them not giving a couple of points in it. And Italy, I don't think that they have the finishing capabilities at the moment that they need to get a bunch of points. I think they will get a couple as I put there, but not a ton. Next we have the South Africa-New Zealand game. The South Africa-New Zealand game is, this is a tough one. The betting odds are effectively just in New Zealand's favour. I think it's 1.3 to 1, and South Africa it's about 2 to 1. So it's tight. This is probably the tightest, just about the tightest besides the Argentina-France game for a World Cup for the game. So I'm quite hesitant. Just considering the fact that this is going to be a more humid game. There's a lot of the New Zealanders are good at it, and I definitely don't think they're going to have a hard time. So the question here, the biggest question is going to come from is, which team can handle the ball? South Africa, on purpose, have been played the Japan game without the ball, just to make sure that they could actually defend properly and build their defense. So their plan is to let as little tries as possible. Always a good idea against Argentina. I've got a feeling that they're going to try and kick points to get the win, but unfortunately, just to the betting odds and the fact that New Zealand are going to go out firing, they're going to put everything into this game. Not to say South Africa probably won't either. I just think that South Africa's handling to be able to do the great moves to get to the try line for this game, I don't think they yet will be acclimatized properly to it. Whereas New Zealand's humidity is a lot closer to what the current conditions in Japan are. So I'm going to give this game to Japan, to New Zealand. That's the only reason I think. Unfortunately, the humidity can definitely play a massive factor here for South Africans, as we don't regularly play in conditions like that. I know they camp in Stellenbosch, but it's not the same. So yeah, I think they're going to pip it by about New Zealand by 5. Sad to say, but I hope I'm wrong, but that's my pick. this is all about making sure you beat your friends on SuperBru, guys. This is not personal, so forgive me. Next is Ireland-Scotland. That is quite a humdinger of a game. Ireland are going into this game to prove their dominance in the World Cup and prove why they're world number one at the moment. Everybody can dispute that and argue. It's currently how it works. That's the rule. Them's the rules. So Ireland are currently the world number one ranked team. Good on them. And they're going to try and prove that they deserve that ranking with this game. I feel that that's going to be the whole aim of this. Scotland, the betting odds here are effectively 4 to 1 to Scotland to win, whereas it's about 1.2 to Ireland. So effectively betting, bookies are believing Ireland are taking this. They obviously have played relatively recently because they played Six Nations, where Scotland did not, Ireland did not take a massive win there. I was quite shocked by that. But it wasn't a great Six Nations for Ireland. Whether that bodes into the World Cup, many can argue different points. I think that they're definitely on an upward swing. So I'm going to give it to Ireland by about 16. I think that's a safe place to be. Scotland are definitely going to put some great plays up. They've got some stunning try scorers in Hogg and all of that. But I think the Sexton himself will definitely be able to push Ireland through and get quite a couple of points on his name for that game. So it depends completely on who really arrives, but I'm going to go Ireland by 16. The next game is a little bit of a harsh one considering recent results for Tonga. Tonga were, what's the nice word? Slaughtered? Not to be mean to Tongans, but wow. New Zealand slaughtered them recently. It was kind of mean at some point. Like at some point you've got to be like, guys, just stop. I mean, if you're getting into the 90s in a warm-up game in a friendly, why? Ouch. Like I felt like they did not do their Pacific Island neighbours any favours in that game, especially hurting their confidence. And England are going to definitely use this game to build into their World Cup. Because there's one problem with England's path, and I mean I've seen it in the 10-14 and some other channels. The problem with England's path is they pretty much have this upscale into their, like it literally goes up where the games are get slightly harder, but they have effectively massive. And that's going to be a massive thing that's going to be a big thing. They also have to have, when they do get to the big games, they're effectively got big, if they want to get to the final, like 5 games in a row have to be big wins. So I think they're going to use this game a lot to blood some players in their second string. So I don't think they're going to kill Tonga, but I think they want to give some playing time to some of the players who test some combinations still. I think they have, Jones has got the capability of doing it. Obviously you want to make sure your team gets fluid together, but the fact of the matter is they got a lot of games in a row which they're going to lose some players on, I'm sure of it. So you definitely want to have your second row. And if you look at England, their average players playing time in the different positions, they dominate in the first 15, but the bench hardly, it's like a third of the time that they get on the field if you look at average caps or minutes on the field, which really shows that they're utilizing their first 15 hugely, but the bench and the other players get very little game time. Something that I think Jones hopefully understands and is going to use these games to fix, because it can really cost them the World Cup. So I'm going to go England by 40. I know that sounds like a ton, but it isn't. In my opinion, it isn't if you consider recent results. England, I think, are up there with New Zealand, Ireland, South Africa, Wales. So I think they could probably, if they put their best team and they really go there to dominate, pump them by 80. But I think they're going to probably only go about 40. I think Tonga are definitely going to bring a different day to it. World Cup fixtures always bring something new to them. The next, Wales, Georgia. This game for Wales is effectively proving, they need to prove that they are here and they're not going to whiff it. They can't whiff this game. Many Irish fans on my channel and other channels are very concerned that with the Welsh pull their standard, get into a World Cup and then just fumble it. I mean, there's so many, I think they have the record for the most upsets in World Cup, which is not a record you want. So they better not do this, and I think they're going to be fielding a very strong team to prove a point, especially considering they recently lost to Ireland. I think that the coach here, Gatlin wants to really prove that his team is here to compete and to win. So I'm going to go with Wales by 30. I think they're going to try and pump Georgia. Georgia is a strong team, so understand when I say 30, I mean that's a high score. Georgia are no joke of a team, but Wales have really improved their backline, and their manoeuvring in their back pods is really outstanding. They play they definitely have a strong forward pack that could, I think, challenge the Georgian one, but they play a lot of open play. They like to kick at the fullback and then tactically smother him, which I think Georgia are definitely going to have a hard time to counter. So I'm going to go in about the 30 range for Wales and see how that goes. But yeah, I will adjust my picks if I feel anything changes in the week. But that's kind of where I want to end it for now. Let's see how it goes, and I will obviously take into account, and then we obviously do other videos on the next rounds for these picks. But yeah, if you like it, please comment, please share, please like down below, and let me know what you think. Please tell me your opinions and results, maybe your SuperBru picks, and how the picks that I gave you turned out for you in the week. If you followed my picks, if you didn't, why not? What is your opinion? Let's hear that all down below. Thanks, guys.